Okay everyone, so we're going to be working on a Khan Academy. That's a great supplement to the chapter we just worked on, which is graphing rational functions. That was section 6.4. So this is a Khan Academy directly corresponding to that. So this particular exercise is analyze vertical asymptotes of rational functions. So each one of these exercises is going to give you some function. In this case, f of x equals x squared minus 1 divided by x minus 2. It actually gives you a pretty helpful hint with all of these. It says, describe the behavior of the function around its vertical asymptote x equals 2. Okay, so I think the best way to take on these problems is to go over to Desmos and to graph it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this equation and I'm just going to take it over to Desmos, these are screenshots. So I'm just going to take it over and plop it into Desmos. So here's my function. This is my f of x. And if you want, you can put equals y or equals f of x, but if you just type the function by itself, it will know, okay? So that's the first thing, and that's what you see in red. Now, if you look here, I also put in this equation, which is x equal 2, and you need to type that exactly how you see it so that it appears the way it needs to. If you just type in 2, it will probably put in y equals 2, which is a horizontal line. So as you can see, we have those both graphed. This is our asymptote. All right, and then this is our function, and it's in two spots. So this is f of x, and this is also f of x. All right, so let's look at the question. Describe the behavior of the function around its vertical asymptote. So the graph of f, let me erase these. The graph of f approaches negative infinity from the left and from the right of the asymptote. Okay, so if we go over to the asymptote, we're going to look at the graph of f. Does it approach negative infinity from the left? In other words, as it moves from the left direction, okay, and it gets really, really close, okay, so you can kind of ignore this part. As it gets really, really close to the asymptote, how does it, in what direction does it go in? So if you're looking here, it's going, as it gets closer, it's moving down, 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 which is negative infinity. Okay, so as it's moving from the left and it gets really, really close, it goes to negative infinity. So the first condition is met for letter A. Okay, so as it approaches from the left, check. Now, let's check from the right. Does it approach negative infinity from the right? So here's the graph up here. Okay, initially it's going down, but as it gets really, really close, what type of behavior does it have? Okay, so as it gets really close from the right, what does its behavior? It's going up, 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 which is positive infinity. Okay, so that is not true. To the right, it approaches positive infinity. So if it were to approach negative infinity from the left and the right, what would it look like? It would look something like this, where from both the left and the right, it's both going towards negative infinity, but that's not the case with this function. Okay, so we can rule out letter A. That's a bad choice. Okay, let's look at option B. As the graph of f approaches negative infinity from the left, okay, and positive infinity from the right of the asymptote. So it approaches negative infinity from the left and positive infinity from the right. Okay, so from the left, we already established, as we move from the left to the right, okay, it gets closer. As we get close to the asymptote, it goes to negative infinity. That's established. And as we move to the right, it approaches positive infinity. So this is actually our correct choice. Okay, and just so we know, in case this wasn't option B and was option D, let's go over the other options and see why those are bad choices. Okay, so the graph approaches positive infinity from the left and negative infinity from the right. So if it approached positive infinity from the left, it would look something like this. I'm going to use green so you can see the difference. If it approached positive infinity from the left, it would look something like that. So as you move from the left to the right and you get really close, it would go up, and that is not the case in this. Okay, and we already talked about if you're approaching from the right to negative infinity, it would look something like that. But again, that's not the case. It's going from the other direction. So this is a bad choice. And then finally, the graph approaches positive infinity from the left and the right. Okay, from the right, we already established that it is. So if it looked like this on both sides, both of these going to the same positive infinity direction as it gets close to asymptote, then that would be the case. It is not, so we can eliminate D from our choices. And let's check that in our Khan Academy. So we're going to choose option B. It approaches negative infinity from the left and positive infinity from the right. We're going to check it. What a wonderful sound. Hope you enjoyed this video.